Right guys, welcome down to part 2 of Grip It and Rip It. Unsensible driverage, hitting shots you should not go for with a driver on the golf course in competition. Down here again at Eaton, the clouds have parted, the sun has come out. It is Sunday the 2nd of July, so actually I've had an opportunity to come and make the second part of this video sooner than I thought, which is great. 10th hole, par 4, stroke index 7, 396 yards. We have a big tree jutting out into the fairway on the left hand side at 256 yards, and the fairway just to the right of that, and the hole runs down and to the green behind the tree at 396 yards. So the sensible shot is obviously play to the right of the tree. There's actually another tree just on the right hand side here that sort of narrows the fairway down in between the two. So sensible shot here is really a sort of driver out to the right hand side or 3-wood down the middle, leaving yourself a approach shot to the green from the right hand side of the fairway. But of course today we're going over the big tree on the left, come what may. I've made it over the massive tree. I don't know if you can see the tee right over in the very distance just here. That is about a 300-yard drive, well 297 according to the GPS data. Bit of wind behind to be fair, so wind assisted, but to carry over that tree, I'm quite impressed with that. Would I do that in competition? Oh, tempting, but probably not. I think it goes without saying that I'm not taking a driver on the par 3s, by the way. Looking forward to the next hole especially. Okay, 12th hole, par 4, stroke index 3, 340 yards. Now this is considered the signature hole here at Eaton. This is, again, a 4-iron, sorry not a par 4, a 4-iron off the tee all day long. There is a bunker on the right hand side just over here at about 200 yards. The fairway then runs off everything down to the left hand side. The green is tucked behind these trees here on the other side of a huge cross ditch. So unless you carry the green at about 320 yards, this ball's going in the ditch, and you have to be on the right hand side of the fairway because otherwise you've got no shot going left through the trees. So of course I'm going to take a driver. I mean, this is the most ridiculous hole for taking a driver on. This ball is 100% going in the ditch and getting lost, so I'm going to take a crap ball. But if by some miracle I absolutely blister this through the gap in the trees, well, you're about to witness a potential once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Stay tuned. Here on the 12th hole, just so that you can understand this hole a little bit better, this is the bunker over here on the right at 200 yards-ish, just over maybe. Everything runs down to the left-hand side, and if you get trapped behind these trees here on the left, you've got absolutely no route through to the green, and you have to go between these two trees from about 120 yards back in the fairway, something like that. Now, by some absolute miracle, I hit that drive a little bit low and squirty out of the heel, and I have hit a fade back into the fairway about 10 yards short, 15 yards short of the ditch. I think I must have left myself 30 yards to the pin. Now, oh god, if you're being aggressive, that was the ideal shot, and I could probably actually hit that same shot with a 3-wood, but again, I wouldn't do that in competition. If I'd caught hold of that driver, it would 100% be in the ditch. It's a miracle that I knobbed it a bit and it's ended up short. Unless you got some stellar bounce over this massive ditch, you wouldn't hit a driver on this hole. But for the sake of today, it's actually worked out surprisingly well. Let's see if I can birdie this hole from here. I stuck the ball to about 10 feet with my chip shot, I just missed the putt. The break on the green is absolutely brutal, but I had a tap in from 2 feet, so that was a very aggressive par. Anyway, who cares about all of that when you have another ridiculous drive to do? Hole 13, unlucky for some, par 4, stroke index 13, 348 yards. Of course, a ridiculous drive coming up. This tree over here, prominent into the left-hand side of the fairway. It's a dog leg round to the left. Huge valley down below us with a bunker over on the right-hand side at about 250 odd yards. No, maybe just less, maybe 230, 240. So, if you stay on the right-hand side of the fairway with a 3-wood to stay safe, that bunker could eat you up. So actually, this is a really good risk and reward hole. Now, just on the other side of that tree there, as the fairway slopes around, up and left towards the green, you can hopefully just see poking out of the side of the tree somewhere here another pair of bunkers to carry or to catch any balls that are trying to carry that tree. We are going over that tree on the left, hopefully with a bit of cut to bring it back into the fairway. Semi-sensible, semi-stupid if you're hanging on to a scoring competition. Let's do it. We have carried this tree, sorry, I think I was stood in the way of that shot tracer there a bit there. Carried the tree, we've gone over the bunkers on the left, and at the moment, shot tracer, I don't know if you can see this, we're at 238 yards and counting. Oh, there's a hare having a sand bath. What a mentalist. Look at it go. I've literally never seen that before. How cool is that? It's a bit of a hairy experience, isn't it? What? Look how quick it is. Oh, it's going for another one. Oh, it's got to have a bath in that one too. That's amazing. Look at it go. I'm going to chase it. And it's off. God, those things are so quick. That's cool. Anyway, so back to the ball. This is my drive. My drive has, by some miracle, made it in the middle of the fairway over everything. I'm about 15 yards short of the flag. I need to birdie this. This video is highlighting some interesting conundrums for me. Do I play really aggressively like this and give myself these kind of opportunities, or is the risk 1 in 10 kind of drives to get into this position, is it worth it or is it not? Let me know what you do. Would you play aggressively to give yourself solid birdie opportunities, or in the club championship where it really matters, would you hit irons off the tee, keep it in play, fairways and greens in regulation? Let me know in the comments section below. Hole par 5, stroke index 11, 550 yards from the black back tees. Now, this is a savage dogleg down into the valley and then across a huge ditch that runs across a middle of the fairway. There is a bridge with the fairway running across it, so basically the fairway is about 40 yards wide. If you're left or right of the middle of the fairway, you are going to end up in the ditch. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but down here on the right hand side there is a small tree lasered at 280 yards, and we are right into the teeth of a 10-mile-an-hour wind today. So this probably, ordinarily from like the whites and the yellow tees down here, the tiger line would be cut off the edge of these trees here and let it cut back into the middle of the fairway, totally going over the ditch. But I don't think I can even reach the ditch today in going for this driver challenge from these back tees, but I'm going to give it a go. I've cleared the ditch only by about sort of 10 yards or so. The tee is way back up there on the top. I pulled this a little bit, just trying to absolutely muller it. The little tree that I lasered is this one over here at 280 yards. So obviously for this fairway, looking back up towards the tee, this left side of the ditch is closer to the tee than the right side. Okay, so a couple of people have asked me, have I got my new driver yet? I haven't. I'm still using the Titleist 910 D2. My lesson with Dan was a few days ago, and I've got a fitting booked with Nick Hibbs of Tour X Golf, who used to be in Warrington but is now in Preston. Now, he was the guy that used to work on the Adams tour truck building clubs for the likes of Tom Watson and Bernard Langer. He built my clubs for me about 3 years ago, and my irons, that is. And so they are going back in to have a tune-up, check the lofts and lies and all that sort of jazz, whilst I get my driver fitting. Now, that driver fitting is on the 11th of July. And that's actually the same day, just later in the day, as my next driver lesson with Dan. So unfortunately, I'm going to be using the older driver until then, and even in my next driver lesson with Dan. I was hoping to have the new one to see what a difference that made to the numbers, but unless there's a cancellation, it's very difficult to get an appointment at short notice. But obviously, as soon as I have the new driver, I will let you know. 15th hole, par 4, stroke index 1, 400 yards. This is another one of these unsensible driver holes, especially with the wind behind as it is. We're going back down towards the ditch that ran across the last fairway that I only just cleared. We've got a tree, don't know if you can see this, sorry I can't see what I'm doing here. We've got a tree on the right hand side here which is at about 250 yards. Now, you don't actually want to be behind that tree because the green is beyond it and the pin is over on the right hand side, so you have to be on the left hand side of the fairway. Just where that tree is, everything kicks on down a huge slope towards that ditch. So the sensible club here really is a 3-wood, but of course we are going with the driver. Okay, so as you can see, this tree on the right hand side, everything runs down the hill towards that ditch, but I've managed to pull it left into these trees. So hitting a driver is not the sensible shot on this hole. It's definitely a 3-wood. Just control it, keep it down the middle, keep it out of these trees on the left. There's my ball. Oh, have I got a line? Tell me I've got a line. Oh, it's absolutely miraculous, but I don't really have a swing. Hole 16, par 5, stroke index 9, 532 yards. Swallows, that's nice. We have a bunker in the fairway on the right hand side at about 260, and again another one at about 290. In the first cut just off the fairway gives me the shorter second shot on this very long par 5 into the wind. I suppose it's relevant to mention as well, with all these stupid drives that I'm doing, the other day in the rain I was 3 over par, and today in the sunshine I am 1 over par, and that was a single 5, so a bogey 5 on the 10th hole actually, so the first hole that I started playing. And in fact I didn't warm up at all, and I was trying to slot in between a couple of other groups going out, so I felt a bit hurried. So I'm not too surprised that I wasn't quite prepared for the first hole. I think being aggressive has given me good birdie opportunities that I haven't capitalised on. And obviously I'm not filming par 3s, but I have just stuck a 9-iron from 144 yards on this par 3 to about 5-6 feet from down there. So I'm quite pleased with that. Very pleased. I've just rolled that putt in for a birdie, so that means I'm now level par going on to the 18th tee for this 9 today. Now, this 18th hole, this is an absolute killer for me. I'm just going to walk and talk as we go over to the tee now. This is a real thinking man's par 4. Stroke index 5, however, I think it's the most difficult hole on the course for me personally. So, 18th hole, par 4, stroke index 5, 458 yards, so it is a long one. And the back tees, there is water that juts right out into the fairway, starting at about sort of 240 yards, and to carry it you've got to be about 270, 280 yards from the back. If you want me to get over this water on the right hand side, hit that like button and press subscribe. That is the only thing that is getting me over the water today. Come on guys. I feel like knight with my jousting stick. The 18th hole has struck again. There's my ball. Oh look, and there's a massive koi carp. Look at that. That's amazing. Don't know if you can see that, but there's a carp just sunbathing. Here is my ball. Let's see if we can get it back without falling in as well. Okay. I hoped that this experiment would make me realise that it's not sensible to take the driver off a lot of the tees, but all it's actually done is make me realise that there are a few holes where if I did take the driver and I do play more aggressive, it's really leaving me some short approaches into the green for some birdie opportunities. Trying to mash your driver in some instances has its bonuses, but is it worth the risk on a lot of holes? Please do subscribe, give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and of course I very much look forward to seeing you in one of my next videos. Take care.